It's the Phoenix, Arizona weather discussion. This is for Friday, the 23rd of September. I'm Michael Groff. We begin to dry out and heat up as we head into the weekend. And by early next week, temperatures way above average. And in some spots across southwest Arizona, southeast California, just a degree or two shy of record territory. Now, there will still be some isolated thunderstorms from time to time across parts of the state, and maybe even an increasing risk of storms over the high country as we go into next week. But here in Phoenix, we should stay at least mostly dry. Chances of rain will be very minimal through the period. Eventually, there does appear to be a cooling trend on the way. And of course, we've got to talk about the tropics. So there's a lot going on. We'll get into all of it in just a moment. But before we do anything at all, big announcement here on the video today. I want to welcome the newest addition to our family. Yeah, her name is Topaz. There she is, adopted from the Arizona Animal Welfare League last Sunday. We made her official. And that is, she is so cute. Unbelievable. She was extremely shy, listed as such. And I think that's why a lot of people passed her over. And at first, yes, extremely shy. We were wondering if she was ever going to come out of her shell. It took about 24 hours. And now she is just all over us all the time. And she is a wonderful, sweet dog. Do yourself a favor if you can. Adopt an animal. So many are in need of good homes. And I know I feel like Bob Barker. Have your pet spayed or neutered and go out and adopt an animal, a dog or a cat, something, She is wonderful, though. All right, and this transitions nicely because it is Friday, and that means it's Photo Friday here, and that's where we take a look at some of the photos and or videos that you guys have submitted. First up, David, Scottsdale Preparatory Academy last Saturday night. Nice night for some high school sports. Look at that. And then Joe in Queen Creek. And check out that sunset. Oh, yeah, Arizona doing the sunsets like nobody else. Nathaniel in Glendale's got a sunset to take a look at as well from earlier this week. But if there's a sunset involved, you know who's going to send us a picture. Of course, Beth in North Phoenix. Look at the colorful sunset there. I love that view. The palm trees, the yellows, the oranges. If this doesn't say Arizona, that should be on a postcard. All right. And then Tyler, storm chasing out there down near Tucson. This is earlier in the week, a supercell that he caught there. Look at that. This thing's rotating. This thing's spinning around. I don't know if it produced a tornado. We are speculating as to whether or not it produced a funnel or maybe a brief tornado. It was rotating. It is a supercell. It might have been rooted in the boundary layer long enough to put down a brief little spin up. Either way, severe storms were had here. Look at that lightning. My goodness. So don't think we're going to see too many more opportunities for pictures like these anytime soon, but that is absolutely sensational. And then last, but certainly not least, if there was active weather, it was going to be found by Ryan Seek. And where is he at here? Is this the mighty Mississippi? No, this is down in southwest Maricopa County, east of Gila Bend. Look at the water running there. Yeah, I know some people in the East Valley, I've gotten them emails, I've gotten the comments. Some people didn't get very much rain out of this system this week. East Valley, Central Valley, not a lot. West Valley got a bit more, and then further to the south and west of us, and across western and southwest Maricopa County, just a deluge. And there's evidence of that. That water is running. You do not want to drive through that. And of course, I know there are people that do. There are people that will actually walk in those washes. Don't ever do that, okay? Don't do that. We say it every season, but people still do it. And then we've got a great time lapse here from Ryan as well. This is a shelf cloud coming in. This thing looks ominous, doesn't it? And we'll just let that roll and remind you that if you want to submit your photos or videos for Photo Friday, you can do it. We do it each and every Friday. Photo Friday right here, groffshow@gmail.com is my email address. That is groffshow@gmail.com for Photo Friday. We could not do this segment without all of your wonderful contributions. So do keep those coming in. I've watched this video like several times, and right at the end, this is where darkness sets in too, but man, is that creepy. And he said this produced about 1.5 inches of rain, and I would believe it. Wow. All right. Now let's get into it here as we will. And we'll take a look at the almanac from yesterday. All right. The almanac from yesterday. How about this? See, once again, this is the beauty of live video. That's actually the almanac from 2 days ago. All right. Well, I don't know how to bring that up. Oh, my goodness gracious. See if we can't fix that. And I will try to get that fixed for you. Okay, I don't know. All right, the almanac from yesterday. No, we're not going to get that. Okay. Well, anyway, 93 degrees was the afternoon high, 77 the low. We picked up 1/100th of an inch of rain. Let's try the current conditions, shall we? 82 degrees at Sky Harbor, dew point at 66, humidity 58%, winds calm, barometer rising. I love the new live format because it means I can't just go back and re-record and say all those curse words, those nasty words that my sailor tongue loves to say. All right, taking a look at the upper air analysis. High pressure sitting across Texas and expanding toward the greater southwest. That's going to result in a southwesterly flow coming in here. We will dry out. That area of low pressure that was anchored along the west coast that brought the unsettled weather to us, it's now across the northern plain states. It's moving into the Dakotas and Minnesota, bringing some unsettled and cooler conditions up that way. So yeah, we are drying out, but the chance of rain across the state today is certainly not zero. Here's the watch warning map, and boy, it's just crickets across the country. We've got some dense fog across parts of northern Idaho, western Montana. We've got some wind across parts of Maine, and that is partially in association with Fiona merging with a trough up that way as it becomes post-tropical. The pressure gradient very tight there. So on the backside of that system, some very strong winds across eastern Canada and northern and central Maine. Convective outlook for today. No organized areas of severe weather across the country. You see Arizona's in the green. A good portion of the state is anyway. And there could be some thunderstorms out there, but they would be very isolated in nature. The chance of rain here in Phoenix today is technically not zero, but we have not put it in the forecast as it will be less than 10% coverage, we feel. Now, here's what everybody's talking about. The tropics and the Atlantic. We've got several areas of concern. We've got Gaston. We've got Fiona. We've got tropical depressions 9 and 10. And then a tropical wave in the central Atlantic. Okay, tropical depression number 10 and that system in the central Atlantic, nothing to worry about there. As for Gaston, this thing is just going to pirouette out there and drift west of all things, and it's going to decrease in intensity and just become post-tropical. Nothing to worry about there. Fiona, oh yeah, this is a major hurricane packing winds 130 miles an hour. Will continue to race northward up toward the Canadian Maritimes where they have hurricane warnings in effect. Don't see that too often. But it's making the transition to a cold core system, becoming post-tropical as it does. So we're, again, not going to concern ourselves too much with that here in the United States, but certainly, Canada and, again, across northern Maine, some gusty winds as an indirect result of that system. Now, we've got tropical depression number 9, and that's now in the Caribbean. It is off the coast of South America. This is beginning to pick up. You can see that convection. The deeper convection is now firing up there, and this is gradually intensifying. And perhaps even by the time you watch this, this will become a tropical storm. When it does, it gets the name Hermine. And where is this thing going? Well, now that we have a defined center of circulation, now that this thing's on the board, we've got reconnaissance aircraft, we've got better model data to plug in. The National Hurricane Center has come up with a forecast track for this, and so far it looks like this will cut across the Caribbean, making that northwestward turn just west of Jamaica, crossing the western tip of Cuba. And by early next week, Tuesday into Wednesday, this will be moving across the Florida Keys potentially, or just west of the Florida Keys, and then taking a position pretty close to Fort Myers to south of Tampa Bay by the middle part of next week. Now, obviously, there's still a great deal of uncertainty. This is not a tropical storm just yet, and there is time for things to change. The cone of uncertainty includes much of the Florida Peninsula, from Key West to Miami, West Palm Beach, Fort Myers, Tampa Bay, all the way over to Orlando and Cape Canaveral. So you're all in that cone there, but that's the path that we project right now. Modeling on this, the tropical model set in pretty good agreement, especially having it interact with Cuba. And then where it goes from there, There is some deviation, but the Florida Peninsula does appear to be the primary target here. We could see it move a little bit further to the west. Obviously, we have to keep an eye on this. There is still a lot of uncertainty. The GFS ensemble has shifted back toward the left, and the ensemble mean takes this up into southwest or central Florida over time by about the Tuesday, Wednesday time frame. And if you're in Florida right now, you know somebody in Florida, just get prepared. All right. This is typical stuff for the tropical season. We've been through things like this before. Now, this could become a pretty significant hurricane, Category 2, perhaps even Category 3. So we will have to watch and see how this develops over time. But we have a lot of time to at least take this in and watch it here through the weekend, and we'll have a better projection as to where this is going over the next day or two. All right, closer to home, the precipitation outlook. This is valid through Friday morning of next week. Rain amounts in Phoenix could see a few hundredths of an inch. Not out of the question. An isolated storm could be possible by the middle and latter part of next week. Better chances over the higher terrain, but even at that, we're not expecting widespread significant precipitation anytime soon. We'll talk about the wheres and whys and all of that as we dive into the models right now, see what's going on. Here we go. The GFS, the 06Z run, valid 2 o'clock this afternoon. Shortwave across the Dakotas and heading into Minnesota. High pressure is building back in here across the southwest, a southwesterly flow aloft. So what it means for us down at the surface for the rest of the day today. Yeah, mostly sunny sky, isolated showers and thunderstorms, maybe even widely scattered storms across the higher terrain. And a decent chance if you're up there towards Show Low and Pine Top Lakeside, those places. But for the rest of us, just widely scattered storms. Here in the lower deserts, an isolated storm can't be ruled out. Again, in Phoenix, the chance of rain, not zero, but we're not putting it in the forecast. High temperatures this afternoon, warmer than we've seen in recent days, upper 90s to about 100. All right, tonight. Isolated showers and storms around, but probably not here. Overnight lows in the 70s to near 80. Tomorrow, sunny, a little bit warmer. Highs, upper 90s to about 102. Isolated storms still possible in the higher terrain, and that's going to be the story over the weekend. Highs 100 to 104 for Sunday, Monday, and by Tuesday, temperatures might drop off a degree or two, and we'll see a gradual lowering of temperatures, another degree or two by Wednesday. And even into Thursday. And you notice that the GFS is trying to paint in some more showers and storms firing up across the state by the middle part of next week in response to weak troughing coming in from the west, maybe interacting with some moisture. We're not going to completely scour out all the moisture across the region, and there might be a bit more drawn northward by the middle part of next week for some isolated storms to return. At this point, we're keeping the forecast in Phoenix dry, but I will again tell you that the chance of rain is not zero, and we might even have to start to add in that chance of rain by next Thursday here in the valley. But it would not be a significant chance. At least that's not how it appears right now. All right, going out to a week from today. This is Friday, the 30th of September. And yeah, still high pressure in control here. That looks warm with temperatures above average, fairly dry conditions. Again, isolated storms would still be possible, though. Going out 10 days, this is Sunday, the 2nd of October. Deep upper low now off the Northern California coast. Very interesting configuration there. Perhaps more moisture being drawn northward out ahead of that, depending on how deep that system gets. But that's a fairly impressive system, especially for this time of the year. So that is something to watch. A higher amplitude pattern looks to be setting up here by the latter part of next week and the following weekend. Looking at rainfall for Phoenix off of the GFS ensemble. And yeah, this goes out through the 7th of October, by the way. And it's, the same old story. The control member way up there around 2/3, 3/4 of an inch. The ensemble mean significantly less than that. There is some of our model members in the ensembles that indicate chances of rain by the latter part of next week. But at this point, nothing significant or widespread. And then temperatures off the national blended models above average this weekend and through much of next week, and then gradually lowering as we go out there toward the end of the forecast period. Keeping in mind, of course, that the normal high by the 1st of October is down into the mid-90s. So we'll still likely be a bit above average. And that's going to do it for the Phoenix, Arizona weather discussion for today. My next video due back here on Monday morning. Of course, updates before that if necessary. If you enjoy these videos, and even if you don't, then be sure to like, subscribe, share, click that notification bell, leave those comments, questions, suggestions. Music fans, check it out. It is there 24/7, 365. It is my streaming station called KMGX. We play a ton of music. We have a lot of fun with that. We consists of myself and the one and only Asian sensation, Michelle. We work tirelessly and relentlessly to make that station as absolutely exciting and chaotic as you would expect from us. So do give it a listen. I leave a link to it, as always, in the description. All right, thank you guys so much for watching. All of your continued support, it is immensely appreciated. You guys be safe, stay cool, stay hydrated out there. Have yourselves an absolutely beautiful Friday and a wonderful weekend.